Hi everyone, welcome to Go Classes. In this session, we are going to discuss Propositional Logic Weekly Quiz 5. Let me tell you that in this Weekly Quiz 5 of Propositional Logic, most of the questions are from the CMI exam, Chennai Mathematical Institute exam. So those CMI exam questions are present in this Weekly Quiz 5. Okay. So let's solve Propositional Logic CMI exam questions. Chennai Mathematical Institute exam questions of Propositional Logic. Let's solve. Let's start. Let's solve this question. This is CMI 2021 question. Let's solve it. If the milkman doesn't deliver milk or the geyser doesn't work, then Akash will be late for school and lunch will be cooked late. Suppose lunch was actually cooked on time. Which of the following is definitely true? This is a very simple question based on logical arguments. So here, first of all, let's convert this given argument into the argument form. Okay. So here you can see this is the statement. If the milkman doesn't deliver milk, milkman doesn't deliver milk. This statement let me denote by m bar. Okay, m bar, or you can denote by m. That is your choice. Okay, so let me denote by m bar, or you can denote by m. There is no problem. So this is the statement. If the milk doesn't if the milkman doesn't deliver milk, I am representing this statement by the propositional variable m, or the geyser doesn't work, I am representing this statement with g. Then then Akash will be late for school, I am representing this statement by variable propositional variable s. And the lunch will be cooked late. Okay, I am denoting this statement, I am denoting by the propositional variable l. Next, you can see, suppose the lunch was actually cooked on time. So that is this statement, lunch was cooked on time. This statement will become L complement. Yes or no? Or I can say negation of L. Because notice one thing here, we have lunch will be cooked late. This lunch is cooked late. This we are denoting by variable L. So lunch is cooked on time. This will be L negation. I hope this point is clear. Okay. Now, which of the following is definitely true? So first of all, these premises are given to us and the question is asking which of the following is a valid conclusion. Yes or no? Which of the following options is a valid conclusion? So first of all, let me write the argument form. Means let me convert this English paragraph, let me convert this argument which is written in the English statements, let me convert this into the propositional logic expressions. So our expressions that will be, you can see, if the milkman, there is if then statement. If then, this is if then statement. So you can easily see that the milkman doesn't deliver milk, that is m, or there is or here, so that is conjunction, disjunction, that is disjunction. Geyser doesn't work, that is g. If this happens, then, okay, you can see this is a if then statement. If then, so you can see then Akash will be late for school, we are denoting Akash will be late for school, we are denoting by s. And lunch will be cooked late, we are denoting by l, so it will be s and l. Okay, it will be conjunction. So this is our first premise. And the second premise is given to you, that is, suppose lunch was actually cooked on time, that is l negation. So second is l negation. These are the premises. Okay, and what are the conclusions? The given options are the conclusions. Like this option, you can see Akash will be late for school. Okay, that is s. Akash will be late for school, that is denoted by s. You can see. Okay, so this is S. Next, geyser is working, that is a G negation. Milkman did not deliver milk, that is a M. And what is option B? That is Akash reached school in time. Okay, so that is a S negation. Very simple, right? So these are the options, and this is the given question. Now let's solve it. There are multiple methods to solve this question. Let me tell you the method number one. So here you can see, first of all, the premises are given to you, and the premises are that M or G implies S and L. This is the premise one. And another premise is given to you, that is L negation. Okay. And now we have to find the valid conclusion. Okay. So let's see the method number one. the valid conclusion we have to find. Very simple. Okay, I hope you understood this point. So this is the paragraph that is given to you, and from this paragraph we need to find which of the following option is the valid conclusion. So one thing you can notice here, this is an implication statement, and we know that implication statement is equivalent to its contrapositive. Yes or no? We already know that if you have any implication statement, for example, P implies Q, that is always equivalent to negation Q implies negation P. Okay, so these two are basically same. Whenever you have this type of statement, alpha implies beta, this statement is equivalent to beta negation implies alpha negation. So remember, this statement and this statement, they are same. So in this question, in the method one, what I can do, I can convert this implication statement into the contrapositive. Okay, we know that this statement will be equivalent to its contrapositive. What will be the contrapositive? The contrapositive will be SL negation implies M or G negation. M or G negation, right? Correct? Okay, and we already have this L negation. So now that's it. Now this is our argument. Okay, now these are the premises, and now we have to find the valid conclusion. Okay, this is the idea. Now here you can apply the De Morgan law. What is SL negation? That will be S negation or L negation. Correct? So it will be S negation or L negation implies. Here we can apply the De Morgan law. So it will be M negation and G negation. It will be M negation, G negation. Okay. This premise is also given to you, that is L negation. Now we need to find what is the valid conclusion. Okay. Now this question has become very simple. Notice the first premise. Okay. Remember, if these statements are true, then what will be the valid conclusion? This is what we need to find out. Now notice one thing. Already this is given that L negation is true. Okay. This is already given to you that L negation is true. And this premise, this is saying that either this happens or this happens, then this will happen. Yes or no? Either S negation or L negation, then what will happen? M negation and G negation will happen. Already this is given that L negation happens. Okay. So you can easily notice it is already given to us that L negation happens. Okay. This L negation, this is true. Now, if this is true, in that case, what will happen? You can see if S negation happens or L negation happens, then definitely M negation and G negation will happen. Already L negation is true. Already this is true. So this whole thing will become true. Okay, so automatically what it means? It means that this will be true. M negation and G negation, this will be true. Okay, so finally I can say the valid conclusion. The conclusion will be what? So very simple. So the conclusion will be that M negation and G negation. Okay, and remember what is M negation? You can see what was M. M was the milkman doesn't deliver milk. So what will be M negation? M negation will be milkman delivers the milk. Correct? Yes or no? So very simple. This M negation, this will be milkman delivers milk. Okay, the milkman delivers milk. So you can see this is M negation. And what is G negation? You can see G is the geyser doesn't work. So G negation will be, that will be the geyser. The geyser works. Okay, so that's it. So finally here in this question you can see the valid conclusion. This is the valid conclusion. Okay, we can say this is the valid conclusion, which means that milkman delivers milk and geyser works. Okay, I hope this point is clear. So finally the valid conclusion we have found. So our answer will be what? Our answer, this means what? This means milkman delivers milk and geyser works. Okay, so that's it. Milkman delivers milk and what happens? Delivers milk and geyser works. Okay, this is the valid conclusion, and so finally our answer will be the geyser works. This will be the final answer. Okay, yes or no? This option is correct. This option is the valid conclusion. The question is asking which of the following is definitely true. So you can see if these statements are true, then definitely option C will be true. So option C is the correct answer. This is MCQ question, only one option is correct, so the answer will be option C. This is one method to solve this question. Now let me tell you another method to solve the same question. Method number 2. Maybe you will like this method also. So let's see method number 2. In this method number 2, what we are going to do? We are going to check for each option, we are going to check is it a valid argument or not. Okay, this is what we are going to do. In the method number 2, first let me check option number A. Okay, what is option A? Checking option A. Correct. So, what is option A? You can see option A is Akash will be late for school. And remember, this Akash will be late for school, that is denoted by S. So, in the option A, our conclusion is S. So, let's check this conclusion S is valid conclusion or not. Okay, so let me check. This is the conclusion. Okay, now let's see. This is a valid conclusion or not. So now you check. Is this a valid argument? How to do that? How to check whether this argument, this is the complete argument where these are the premises, this is the conclusion. Now check whether this is the valid argument or not. And how to check whether a given argument is valid or not? Very simple. You make the conclusion false and then try to make all the premises true. If it is possible, then this is an invalid argument. Otherwise, this is valid argument. Okay, so what we are going to do? We are going to make the conclusion false. So you can see S is a false. Now, after making conclusion false, I will try to make all the premises true. If I can do that, then it will be invalid argument. Okay, so let me try to make this true. If I want to make this true, then L will be false. Now let me try to make this true, this premise true. So you can see L is false, S is false. So this is already false. Is it possible I can make the first premise true? Yes, I can make it true. What I will do? I will make M comma G false. Okay, I can make M comma G false. M also false, G also false. Okay, now you can easily notice that the conclusion is false, all the premises are true. So this argument is invalid argument. Okay, yes or no? So option A, that is invalid conclusion. Invalid conclusion. Or I can say, if you consider the conclusion that is given in option A, that will make it invalid argument. The argument will become invalid. So option A is the invalid conclusion. I hope this point is clear. Okay, so option A is eliminated. Okay, you can eliminate this option A, you can eliminate. What about the option B? Option B, that is Akash reached school in time, that is S negation. Okay, because Akash will be late for school, that is denoted by variable S. So option B will be S negation. So now let's check this option B. Option B is S negation. This is what we are checking. So we are checking option B. Okay. Now tell me, this given argument, is this valid or not? How to check? How to check if a given argument is valid or not? Very simple. Make the conclusion false and then try to make all the premises true. If you can do that, then this will be invalid argument. So I will make the conclusion false. So it means that S is true. Now I will try to make all the premises true. Okay, to make this premise true, L will be false. Now, is it possible that I can make this premise true? So you can easily see that S is true, L is false. So this will be false. Is it possible I can make the first premise true? Yes, I can do that. Okay, what I can make? I can make this false. So you can see I will make M false, I will make G false. Now you can easily notice that the conclusion is false and the premises are true. So this given argument, this is invalid. So option B, that is an invalid conclusion. Very simple. What about option C? That is geyser working. Remember, geyser does not work, that is denoted by G. So geyser working, that is denoted by G negation. So let's check option C. Option C is G negation. This is option C. We are checking option C. Okay. So now you check, is this argument valid? How to check if a given argument is valid or not? First you make conclusion false and then you try to make all the premises true. If you can do that, then it will be invalid argument, otherwise it will be valid argument. So first I will make the conclusion false. It means that G will be true. Now, can I make all the premises true? Yes. Let's see. To make it true, what I will do, I will make L equal to false. Yes or no? Now, can I make this premise true? You can easily notice that L is false, so this will be false. Okay. Now, can I make the first premise true? Notice one thing, G is already true. G is already true. So this whole thing will become true. Now you can see true implies false. That will be false. So very simple. I cannot make all the premises true. After making conclusion false, I cannot make all the premises true. So this is a valid argument. This complete argument, this is a valid argument. And because this is a valid argument, so option C, that is a valid conclusion. Okay, I hope you understood this. Notice one thing, what I have done after making the conclusion false. First, I am making the conclusion false. After making the conclusion false, I cannot make all the premises true. It means this argument is a valid argument. So this conclusion in option C, that is a valid conclusion. So that is your answer. Option C, that is the answer. And what about option D? Let's check it. Milkman did not deliver milk. That is denoted by variable M. Propositional variable M we are using to denote, to represent this English statement. The milkman did not deliver milk. So let's see. This M, is this a valid conclusion or not? So now we are checking the option D. Now we are checking option D. Okay, and for that, very simple, let's check whether this argument is valid or not. First I will make the conclusion false, so you can notice that M is false. Now I will try to make all the premises true. To make this premise true, I will make L equal to false. Now can I make this premise true? You can see that L is false, so this will be false. Can I make this whole premise true? Let's see. Yes, I can do that because M is already false. Remember, M is already false, so I can make G false. Okay, if I make G false, then if I make G also false, then what will happen? Notice one thing. Now all the premises are true and the conclusion is false. So this is an invalid argument. And because this is an invalid argument, so option D, that is an invalid conclusion. Okay. So this is another method to solve the same question, method number 2. So finally, we have got the answer for this question, that will be option C. Please tell me, which method did you like more? Method 1 or method 2? There are two methods to solve this question. Both the methods we have seen. The method 1, that was very quick method. Okay, both the methods, did you understand? See, maybe some of you will like method 1, some of you will like method 2. But it is important to understand both. If you understood both, then you are, I can say, you are building your toolbox. You are building your toolbox. In the future, you can use any tool. So keep building your toolbox. Both the methods you understand. Some of you will like method 1, some of you will like method 2. But all of you should understand both the methods. Okay, I hope you understood both the methods. So this was a nice question from CMI. Let's solve this CMI 2018 question. Akash, Bharani, Chetan, Deepa are invited to a party. If Bharani and Chetan attend, then Deepa will also attend. If Bharani does not attend, then Akash will not attend. If Deepa does not attend, then which of the following statement is true? Again, in this question, notice that some premises are given to you and the question is asking which conclusion is valid conclusion. Okay, which of the following is a valid conclusion? This is the question. So this is a propositional logic question based on argument. We need to find which conclusion is the valid conclusion from these premises. If these are true, then which of the following will always be true? This is what we need to find out. This question we can solve by multiple methods. So I will tell you method 1 and method 2. First, what we will do, we will convert these English paragraph into propositional logic expressions. Okay, so here you can see we have total 4 people: Akash, Bharani, Chetan, and Deepa. They are invited to a party. Now these statements are given to you. If then statement is given, if Bharani and Chetan attend, then Deepa will also attend. So you can see this statement I can write like this: Bharani attend and Chetan attend. Okay, if Bharani and Chetan attend, then Deepa will also attend. Okay, this is the first premise. This is a if then statement. If this happens, then this happens. Okay, if Bharani and Chetan attend, then Deepa will also attend. Next, this is also if then statement. If Bharani does not attend, okay, if Bharani does not attend, then Akash will not attend. Next, you can see if Deepa does not attend, this is also given to you. The third statement, that Deepa does not attend. Okay, these are the premises that are given to you. You can see if Deepa does not attend, so this is given that Deepa does not attend. Then which of the following is true? Option A is saying Chetan does not attend, that is C negation. Option B, Akash does not attend, that is A negation. Option C, that is either A or B, that means C negation or A negation. And option D, that is none of the above. Okay, so this question you can solve by multiple methods. Let me tell you the method number one. But first of all, let me write all the premises. Method number one. The premises that are given to us, these are, you can see, if Bharani and Chetan attend, then Deepa also attends. Bharani and Chetan implies Deepa. Next, if Bharani does not attend, then Akash will not attend. B negation implies A negation. Next, if Deepa does not attend, this is given that Deepa does not attend. Now, in this case, what will be the valid conclusion? This is what we need to find out. Okay, very simple. Now, let's see the method number one. We know that any implication statement is equivalent to its contrapositive. Okay, so this English statement I can convert into contrapositive. You can see this expression, this is an implication statement, this is an implication expression. So this is equivalent to its contrapositive. What will be the contrapositive of this? The contrapositive will be D negation implies B negation or C negation. Okay, so you can see this expression, they are basically equivalent, they are basically same, this and this. So you can use either this expression or you can use this expression. This expression says B negation implies A negation, and this expression, this is D negation. Okay, now you notice one thing, just use your intuition. If these happen, then what will be the valid conclusion? Okay, if these are true, if all of them are true, then what conclusion will be valid? Now you can easily notice the question is saying that Deepa does not attend. Okay, so this is true. Deepa does not attend, this is true. Okay, and remember one thing, look at this premise. This is saying if Deepa does not attend, means if this is true, then automatically what will happen? Then this will be true. Yes or no? Because the question is saying Deepa does not attend. This is given to you. And look at this first premise. This is saying if Deepa does not attend, then this will happen. So I can say that this will happen. B negation or C negation will happen. So I can say this is a valid conclusion that B negation or C negation happens. This conclusion is valid. B negation or C negation happens. Okay. Now notice one thing. Either B negation will happen or C negation will happen or both of them will happen. Do you agree? Either this will happen or this will happen or both of them will happen. Now notice one thing. Either this will happen. Okay, the same thing I can say from here. You can notice that either this will happen, either this C negation will happen or B negation will happen. But remember one thing, if B negation happens, then A negation will happen. Yes or no? If B negation happens, then definitely A negation will happen, because look at this premise. This is saying if B negation happens, then A negation will happen. So this is what I am saying, that this conclusion we found that B negation happens or C negation happens. So I can say C negation happens, that is fine, or B negation happens. But if B negation happens, then A negation will happen. So I can say that either A negation will happen or C negation will happen. So this is also a valid conclusion. Okay, A negation happens or C negation happens. This is a valid conclusion. This is also a valid conclusion. B negation happens or C negation happens. Now you can easily notice what is the options. Remember, A negation happens or C negation happens means either Chetan does not attend or Akash does not attend. Okay, so you can see the answer will be either A or B. Chetan does not attend or Akash does not attend. Yes, this is a valid conclusion. This conclusion is a valid conclusion. So answer for this question will be option C. I hope you understood this point. One more thing, let me tell you that whenever you have either P or Q, then how to convert that into propositional logic? This not we have already seen in our lectures also. Please understand, whenever you see this English statement, either P or Q, either P or Q. This English statement, when you convert into propositional logic expression, remember it will be P or Q. This will be inclusive or. And when you have this statement, either P or Q but not both, either P or Q but not both. When you have this statement, either P or Q but not both, this will be exclusive or. This will be P XOR Q. Okay, so please understand that either P or Q, this English statement we will translate into propositional logic as P inclusive or Q. And here, either P or Q but not both, this will be translated as exclusive or. Okay, so that's it. For this question, the answer will be option C. I hope you understood. Now, let me tell you another method to solve this question. That is, for each option you check, is that a valid conclusion? For each option, we are going to check, will that be a valid conclusion or not? So let's check option A. So now I'm telling you the method number 2 to solve this question. That is checking options. We will check option A, B, C. All the options we will check. So let me check option A. What is option A? That is C negation. Chetan does not attend. This is option A. So let's see this C negation. Is this a valid conclusion or not? You check this argument is valid or not. How to check if a given argument is valid or not? Very simple. First, we will make the conclusion false. Then we will try to make all the premises true. If we can do that, then this argument will be invalid. Otherwise, this argument will be valid. So first, I will make this conclusion false. It means this C will be true. Now, I will try to make all the premises true. How to make this premise true? Very simple. I will make D equal to false. How to make this premise true? You can notice D is already false and C is already true. C is already true. Okay, so how to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I have to make B equal to false. Okay, we need to make B equal to false to make this premise true. Now, can I make this premise true? You can notice that B is already false, so B negation will be true. Okay, can I make this premise true? Yes, I can make this premise true. What I will do, I will make this true, means I will make A equal to false. Okay, so that's it. This is what we are doing. And now you can see this argument is invalid. So because this argument is invalid, so this option A, this is invalid conclusion. Okay, very simple question, right? So you can see option A, that is invalid conclusion. Okay, because you can see this argument is invalid. So option A is invalid conclusion. Now let's see option B. Option B is Akash does not attend. That is A negation. So let's see option B, that is A negation. This argument, is this valid or not? How to check if a given argument is valid or not? Very simple. First you make conclusion false, then you try to make all the premises true. If you can do that, then that will be invalid argument. Otherwise it will be valid argument. So first I will make the conclusion false. So this A will be true. Now can I make all the premises true? Let's see. Can I make this premise true? Yes, I will make D equal to false. Can I make this premise true? You can notice D is already false and A is true. Okay, so can I make this whole premise true? To make this whole premise true, what I need to do? I need to make this false. Okay, this BC I need to make false. So either I can make B false or I can make C false. So first let me decide, can I make this premise true? You can notice already A is true. So this is already false because A is true. So A negation will be false. Can I make this second premise true? To make this second premise true, what I need to do? I need to make this false. So means I need to make B equal to true. Okay. Now you notice one thing, that now I need to make this premise true. So what I can do? I can make C false, no problem. Yes or no? That's it. So you can see if I make C false, B true, D false, A true, then you can see that this argument will be invalid. Yes or no? After making the conclusion false, I have made the premises true. So that's the reason this argument is invalid. So option B, that is also invalid conclusion. Invalid conclusion. Correct. Now let's see option C. Option C is saying either A or B. Either A or B, that means C negation or A negation. Okay, so let's see C negation or A negation. Now let's check this argument is valid or not. How to check whether this argument is valid or not? Very simple. First, I will make the conclusion false. To make the conclusion false, what we need to do? Remember, this is disjunction. Here we have disjunction. How to make disjunction false? We need to make both of them false. Okay, it means that this C must be true and A must be true. Okay, so now you can see now the conclusion is false. Now can I make all the premises true? Let me try to make all the premises true. So to make this premise true, what I need to do? I need to make D equal to false. Now, can I make this premise true? Already you can notice A is true, so this will be false. So can I make this premise true? To make this premise true, what I need to do? I need to make this B negation false. That means I need to make B equal to true. Now can I make this premise true? You can notice already D is false. Already this D, that is already false. And B is already true, C is already true. So this B is already true, C is already true. True and true, that will be true. True implies false, that will be false. So you can easily notice after making the conclusion false, I cannot make all the premises true. So this is a valid argument. Because this is a valid argument, so option C, that is a valid conclusion. Okay, option C, that is the valid conclusion. Because if you put option C if you consider as conclusion, then this argument will be a valid argument. After making conclusion false, you cannot make all the premises true. So this is a valid argument. So option C, that is a valid conclusion. So for this question, the answer will be option C. So this is a easy question. For this question, we have seen two methods, method 1, method 2. Did you understand both the methods? Also, which method did you like more? Two methods we have seen to solve this question. Did you understand each and every method? Let me know. So these are simple questions. We have done a lot of practice of this type of questions in our lectures also. Two methods we have seen to solve the previous two questions. Okay. Let's solve this CMI 2017 question. Four siblings go shopping with their father. So there are four siblings. They are going shopping with their father. If Abhay gets shoes, then Asa does not get a necklace. If Arun gets a t-shirt, then Aditi gets bangles. If Abhay does not get shoes or Aditi gets bangles, the mother will be happy. Which of the following is true? Four options are given to you. This is propositional logic argument based question. Here you can see this paragraph is given to you. These premises are given to you. If these premises are true, then which conclusion will be a valid conclusion? Which of the following will always be true? So this is an argument based question from propositional logic. First, what we will do to solve this question? First, we will convert this English statement into propositional logic expressions. Okay, this is what we are going to do first. So let's convert. Here we can see that if Abhay gets shoes, let me denote by AB. Okay, so that will be like AB means Abhay. AB implies, you can see this is a if then statement. If Abhay gets shoes, let me denote by AB. This statement we are denoting by AB. AB means Abhay. If Abhay gets shoes, then Asa does not get a necklace. Okay. If Abhay gets shoes, then Asa does not get a necklace. Okay. You can see negation of Asa. Next, you can see if Arun gets a t-shirt. Okay. If Arun gets a t-shirt, AR means Arun. Then Aditi gets bangles. Then Aditi AD. Aditi will get bangles. Next, you can see if Abhay does not get shoes. Notice one thing. Abhay gets shoes, that is AB. So Abhay does not get shoes, that is AB negation. That is AB negation. Next, or Aditi gets bangles. Remember, Aditi gets bangles, that is AD. Or Aditi gets bangles. Then what will happen? This is a if then statement. If then, then the mother will be happy. Let me denote by M. Okay, mother will be happy. So these are the premises. Now we need to find which conclusion is valid, which is a valid conclusion. These are the premises, and we need to find what will be a valid conclusion. This question we can solve by multiple methods. Okay, so first let me tell you the method number one. Okay, so let's see the method number one. You can easily notice that every implication statement is equivalent to its contrapositive, that we already know. Okay, whenever you have P implies Q, that is equivalent to Q negation implies P negation. So in this statement, what will be the contrapositive of this statement? The contrapositive, that will be M negation implies negation of this, and you can apply the De Morgan law. So M negation implies AB and AD negation. Okay, now you might be thinking, sir, why are you converting this statement into contrapositive? Why are you not converting these statements into contrapositive? Okay, so can you tell me why I am converting this statement into its contrapositive? Because of the options. Okay, because look at this option. Because of this option, I am doing it. Okay, I already have read the options. If you read all the options, then because of option C, I am doing this. Okay, so you can see in this option C we have, if the mother is not happy, then something something something. Okay, you can see. So because of this option C, I am doing this, that I am converting this statement, this implication statement, I am writing as its contrapositive. Okay, now you can notice this statement is saying that if mother is not happy, then what will happen? Then Abhay will get shoes and Aditi will not get bangles. Yes or no? This is the statement. This statement is saying that if mother is not happy, then Abhay will get shoes and Aditi will not get bangles. Now notice one more thing. AB implies AS negation. Yes or no? AB implies this AB. Look at this particular AB only. This AB implies AS negation. Okay, means if this happens, then Asa will not get a t-shirt. Asa will not get necklace. Okay, yes or no? Okay, please focus on this statement. AB implies AS negation, means if Abhay gets shoes, then Asa will not get necklace. Also, second thing, one more thing, notice, if Aditi does not get bangles, then this statement, look at this statement, this is also equivalent to its contrapositive. This statement is equivalent to AD negation implies AR negation. Means if Aditi does not get bangles, then Arun does not get t-shirt. Okay, so this implies AR negation. So that's it. Finally, I can say that if mother is not happy, then in that case, what will happen? If mother is not happy, then these two things will happen. Abhay will get shoes and Aditi does not get bangles. These two things will happen. But because of these two things, what will happen? Because of these two things, Asa will not get necklace and Arun will not get t-shirt. So finally, I can say that if mother is not happy, then four things will happen. What are the four things? If mother is not happy, then Abhay will get the shoes, Aditi will not get bangles, Asha will not get necklace, Arun will not get t-shirt. Okay, yes or no? So that's it. So finally, I can say that this is what will happen if mother is not happy. If mother is not happy, then these four things will happen. What are the four things? You can easily see. Look at this option C. If mother is not happy, then Asa did not get a necklace, that is correct. And Arun did not get a t-shirt, that is correct. So option C is a valid conclusion. I hope you understood. Okay, so remember, the valid conclusion will be if mother is not happy, then Asa will not get the necklace, Arun will not get the t-shirt, Abhay will get the shoes, and Aditi will not get the bangles. This is the final answer. So for this question, answer will be option C. Okay, so this is the method number one to solve this question. Let me tell you another method to solve this question, that is, for each option we will check whether that is a valid conclusion or not. Okay, yes or no? So in this question, already these are the premises given to you, and the question is asking which of the following statement is a valid conclusion. So for each option you check, is this a valid conclusion? Okay, so let me check for option A. So let me tell you, this is the method number 2. The previous method was method number 1. Now let's see method number 2. In this method number 2, what we are going to do, we are going to check options. Okay, so let's check. Checking option A. What is option A? Option A is saying, if mother is happy, then Aditi got bangles. Okay, this is the option A. If mother is happy, remember if then statement. Okay, this is if mother is happy, then Aditi got bangles. So this option A, if you look, this option A, I can write like this: if mother is happy, then Aditi got bangles. M implies AD. Okay, so let's see this option A, that is M implies AD. Now let's check this argument is valid or not. To check whether this argument is valid or not, what we will do? First, we will make the conclusion false. To make the conclusion false, this is the implication statement. There is only one way to make it false, that is M will be true and AD will be false. Okay, this is the only way to make conclusion false. After making conclusion false, we will try to make all the premises true. Can we make all the premises true? Okay, let's see. Can we make this premise true? Already you can notice that M is true. M is already true. M is true. So this complete premise will be true. Anything implies true, that will be true. That you already know. Okay, P implies true, that will be true. So you can see this premise we have made true. Now can we make these two premises true? So you can see AD, that is false. So this AD is false. How to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I have to make AR also false. Okay, so very simple. I will make AR false. Now these two premises are true. Can I make this premise true? So you can see, yes, I can make this premise true. What we can do, notice one thing. AB, we can make it false. Okay, we can make AB false. Then automatically what will happen? Now you can see all the premises are true and the conclusion is false. So this is an invalid argument. So option A, that is invalid conclusion. Is this point clear? Let me know. So we are checking option A, is that a valid conclusion or not? So you can see this is a invalid argument. So option A is invalid conclusion. After making conclusion false, can we make all the premises true? Yes, we can do that. So this is invalid argument. So finally, this is option A, that is invalid conclusion. What about option B? Let's check option B. Option B is saying, if Aditi got bangles, then Abhay got shoes. This statement is basically AD. Aditi implies Abhay got shoes. That is AD implies AB. So let's see. AD implies AB. Okay. So this argument, is this a valid argument or not? How to check whether very simple. First, we will make the conclusion false. To make this implication statement false, there is only one way. That is AD must be true and AB must be false. Okay. Now, can we make all the premises true? You can notice already AB is false. This AB, that is already false. So this premise will be true. Okay, you can see AD is already true. So you can see this premise will be true. Anything implies true, that will be true. False implies anything, that will be true. So these two premises are already true. Okay, now can we make this premise true? Yes, we can do that. Just make M true. If you make M true, anything implies true, that will be true. So you can see conclusion is false, all the premises are true. So this argument is invalid argument. So option B, that is an invalid conclusion. Okay, option B is also invalid conclusion. Now let's check option C. Is that a option C, is that a valid conclusion or not? Now let's see option C. Is that a valid conclusion or not? So option C is saying, if mother is not happy, that means M bar implies, if mother is not happy, then this is a if then statement. M negation implies Asa did not get necklace. Asa negation and Arun did not get a t-shirt. So let's see this conclusion. Is this a valid conclusion or not? M bar implies. So let's see option C. In the option C, our conclusion that is M bar implies Asa did not get necklace and Arun did not get t-shirt. Okay, let's see. Is this a valid argument or not? So to check whether this argument is valid or not, what we are going to do? We are going to make the conclusion false. To make the conclusion false, remember conclusion is a implication statement. To make the implication statement false, there is only one way, that is LHS true. Okay, that means M is false and RHS false. Okay, RHS false. Now remember, to make it false, there are multiple ways. I can say AS negation, AR negation, that complete thing must be false. Okay, what it means? To make this false, AS negation, AR negation false, to make this false, there are two ways. Either I make AS true or I make AR true. Yes or no? Either I make AS true or I make AR true. But M will be false. Okay, definitely M will be false. Now let's see. Can we make all the premises true? Let me try to make all the premises true. Remember one thing, there are two ways here. M will be false, that is guaranteed. Now either AS will be true or AR will be true. So one by one we will check. Okay, let me check when M is false and AS is true. Let me check this case. Okay, first I will check in this case, can I make all the premises true? And then what I will do? Then I will check, in this case. Then I will check in this case, can I make all the premises true? Okay, this is what I'm going to see. In this case, can I make all the premises true? Also, in this case, can I make all the premises true? Okay, so let's see. First, M is false, AS is true. Can I make all the premises true? You can see this M is already false. To make this premise true, okay, AS is already true. It means this is also false. Okay, so first of all, you can notice, look at this premise. Can I make it true? Yes, I can make it true. All I need to do is AB, I need to make false. Okay, so I made AB false. Now, you notice one thing, AB is false. So this will be true. AB negation will be true. How to make this premise true? To make this premise true, you can notice that now I cannot make this true because this LHS is true, RHS is false. So I cannot make this premise true. Yes or no? This premise, look at the third premise, I cannot make it true. So this is a valid argument. So because this is a valid argument, okay, so in this case, in this particular case, I can say we are checking option A, we are checking option C, and in this particular case, I can say yes. So far, it is valid argument. So far, valid. Yes or no? So far, valid argument. Now let's see this case. When M is false, AR is true. In this case, can I make all the premises true? Already M is false. AR is already true. This AR, this is true. How to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I need to make AD true. Yes or no? AD will be true. Now you notice one thing. AD is true. I need to make AD true. Now AD is already true. So now you can see, can I make this third premise true? I cannot. Because what is this? This is a true or anything, that will be true. True implies false, that will be false. So can I make the third premise true? I cannot do that. So in this case also you can see it is valid argument. In both the cases this is valid argument. So finally I can say that yes, this is a valid argument and option C will be valid conclusion. Okay, so that's it. This is the explanation. I hope you understood. So finally our answer will be option C. Did you understand both the methods? Method 1, method 2. Both the methods we have seen. Okay. So which method did you like more? Method 1 or method 2? Which method did you like more? Did you understand both the methods? That is very important. Both the methods, did you understand? Okay, let's move on now. Let's solve CMI 2016 question. An advertisement for a tennis magazine states If I'm not playing tennis, I'm watching tennis. And if I'm not watching tennis, I'm reading about tennis. We can assume that the speaker can do at most one of these activities at a time: playing, reading, watching. These are the three activities, and the speaker can do at most one of them at a time. What is the speaker doing? So remember, we have some statements. These statements are given to us. If I am not playing tennis, then I am watching tennis. If not playing tennis, negation P implies watching tennis. If I'm not watching tennis, I'm reading about tennis. If I'm not watching tennis, then I'm reading about tennis. These are the statements given to you. And there are three activities: playing, watching, reading. Playing tennis, watching tennis, reading tennis. These are the three activities. And the question is saying that at most one of these activities is true. The speaker can do at most one of these activities. Okay, look at this. At most one of these activities speaker can do. So what is the speaker doing? This is the question. First of all, notice one thing. Speaker can do at most one of these activities. Is it possible that speaker is not doing any of these activities? First, let's discuss that point. Is it possible? What about option D? Is it possible that speaker is not doing any of these activities? Speaker is not playing, speaker is not watching tennis, speaker is not reading about tennis. Is it possible? Because the question is saying speaker can do at most one of these activities, at most one. So you can see, is it possible that speaker is doing none of these activities? Is it possible? My question is very simple. Is it possible? Is it possible that speaker is neither playing nor watching tennis nor reading about tennis? Is it possible that P negation and W negation and R negation means we are not playing tennis and we are not watching tennis and we are not reading about tennis? Is it possible? The answer is no, this is not possible. What is the reason? The reason is very simple. If you are not playing, then definitely you are watching. Look at this. Notice one thing. If you are not playing, if I'm not playing, then definitely I am watching. So you can notice, if I'm not playing, then definitely I am watching. Do you agree with me? You can see, if I'm not playing, then definitely I am watching. So here at this moment I can say that it is not possible that speaker is not doing any of these activities, because if speaker is not playing, then definitely he is watching. This is already given to you. Look at this statement. If speaker is not playing, then speaker is watching tennis. Okay, so is it possible that speaker is not doing any of these activities? The answer is no, that is not possible. Okay, so speaker is doing at least one of these activities, or I can say speaker is doing exactly one of these activities. So option D is gone. Okay, so finally I can say that speaker is doing exactly one of these activities. This is the conclusion that we can say. Okay, so I can say, so speaker is doing exactly one of these activities. He cannot do more than one activity. Okay, because the question is saying he can do at most one activity. So he cannot do more than one activity. So speaker is doing exactly one of these activity. Exactly one of these activities. Okay. Now we need to find which one, which activity is the speaker doing. So you can solve this question again by multiple methods, but let me tell you the best method. See, these are the three activities: playing, watching, reading. And we know that exactly one of them is happening. Okay, speaker is doing exactly one of these activities. So let me make three cases. Only three cases are possible. Do you agree with me? Speaker is playing, speaker is playing, not watching, not reading, or speaker is watching, not playing, not reading, or or speaker is reading, not watching, not playing. Okay, now let's see which of them will give me contradiction. So far, did you understand? Did you understand that only these three are possible? Because the question is saying that the speaker is doing at most one of these activities, and we have seen that it is not possible that a speaker is not doing any of these activity. So a speaker is doing exactly one of these activity. So only these are the three possible things. One, two, three. Now you tell me which of them will give me a contradiction. You can easily see that the first one will give me a contradiction. Notice one thing. Look at the first one. This will give me a contradiction. Why this is giving contradiction? Because notice, if I'm not watching, then I should be reading. Look at this statement. Because of this statement, I'm getting a contradiction in the first one. Did you understand? Let me know. This contradiction, did you understand? So, very simple. Because of this, because notice one thing, if I'm not watching, then I'm reading. So, if watching is false, if I'm not watching, then there is a contradiction here. Here, there is a contradiction. So, let me write that there is a contradiction here. You can easily notice contradiction. Because if I'm not watching, then definitely I must be reading. Okay, yes or no? So definitely there is a contradiction. So the first one is wrong. Very good. Now what about the third one? What about the third one? In the third one also there is a contradiction. What is the contradiction in third one? Again there is a contradiction here. What is the contradiction? Notice one thing. This is the contradiction. If I'm not playing, then definitely I'm watching. So there is a contradiction here. Look at this. Because if I'm not playing, then definitely I must be watching tennis. So you can easily see that this is giving me a contradiction. So that's it. Finally, answer will be what? So this is wrong. This is wrong. Only answer will be option this second one. Now you can see there is no contradiction here. In the second one, there is no contradiction. Why there is no contradiction? There is no contradiction because you can easily see that this is also fine. Yes or no? If I am not playing, then I am watching. That is fine, right? Here, I am not playing. Playing is false. Playing is false. I am not playing, then I am watching. Yes, I am watching. Okay, so this is also fine. Or I can say this is also true. You can easily notice this is also true. Okay, and what about this? This is also true. Both are true, right? Both of them are true. You can see when you take P equal to false, W true, and R false. You put, if I put, just notice one thing. Okay, look at this. What is this? For the second one, I'm checking the second one. Do not check anything else. Just check for this second one. So I can say I am checking for P equal to false, W equal to true, and R equal to false. Okay, for this, what will happen? For this also will be true. The whole thing will be true because P negation will be true. W is true. So the whole thing will be true. And what about this one? This also will be true because W negation will be false. Okay. And you can see this R, that is false. False implies false. That is true. So that's it. So this is how you can solve it. So final answer will be what? That will be that I am watching tennis. Okay. So this is the final answer. Final answer is that speaker is watching tennis. So I hope you loved this question. This was a good question, right? Okay. This question you can solve by another method. What is that? See, this question I can solve by another method because what I can do, this statement I can write like this. W negation implies P, W negation implies R. Do you agree with me? Okay, because remember every implication statement is equivalent to its contrapositive. So this I can write like this. Please understand, whenever your P implies Q, you can write it as Q implies negation, P implies. Okay, so this is what I'm saying, that when you have negation P implies W, I can write it W negation W implies P. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Now you can easily notice How to make how to make all of them true? How to make this and this true? Just make w. Okay, just make w for w true. Just make w true. These two statements will become true. I hope you understood. If you did not understand, let me explain. See, now I have these two statements. The first statement is w bar implies p. This is the first statement. And the second statement is w bar implies r. These are the two statements. You can easily notice that if I take w equal to true, both of them will become true. Yes or no? You can notice if watching is true, then both 1 comma 2 become true. Yes or no? So very simple. So finally I can say that only one activity we are doing, so that will be watching. Watching is the activity that we are doing. Okay, is this clear? And actually you can notice, if I make p true, let's assume I make p true. Now you tell me, if I make p true, now what is the problem? Sorry for that. If we make p true, then tell me how to make these two statements true. I want to make these two statements true. So if I'm making p true, then that is fine. This first statement will be true. That is fine. Okay. But how to make the second statement true? If we make p true, then the first statement will be true. That is fine. But how to make the second statement true? To make the second statement true, what you need to do? Either you need to make r true or you need to make w true. Okay, so do you agree with me that if I make p true, then in addition to that, I need one more activity. But the question is saying that at most one activity you can do. Do you agree? So this is not the answer. I hope you understood. If I make p true, then this first statement will be true. But to make the second statement true, either I have to make r true or I have to make w true. Okay, so you can see, if I want to make this p true, then in addition to that, I need to make one more activity true. But the question is saying that at most one activity you can do. So p true is wrong. Okay, so I can say here, so p true is wrong. Is wrong answer. And what about r true? Tell me, if r is true, then in that case what will happen? Again, you can see, if r is true, then this statement will be true. That is fine. If r is true, then the second statement will be true. But what about the first statement? To make the first statement true, either I need to make p true or I need to make w true. Again, the same thing. Basically, if I want to make the r true, then in addition to that, I need one more activity, either p true or w true. But the question is saying that at most one activity you can do. So that is the reason I can say, so r equal to true is wrong answer. Okay, so that's why I am saying that if you make w true, then everything will be fine. Okay, so that's it. This is the idea. If you make w equal to true, then both 1 comma 2 will become true. Okay, so for this question we have seen the answer. So the answer for this question will be that we are watching tennis. Okay, this is a beautiful question. I hope you loved it, from CMI 2016 exam. Let's solve the CMI 2022 question. If Vinay finishes his homework and school closes early, then he can play in park or eat an ice cream. He will end up at the dispensary with tummy ache if he eats ice cream and plays in the park. Which of the following can be correctly inferred? So this is a question from propositional logic based on arguments. Premises are given to you and the question is asking which is the valid conclusion. So we can very easily solve this question. Let's see. First of all, what we will do, we will convert these English statements, this English paragraph, we will convert into propositional logic expressions. Okay, so here you can see, if Vinay finishes his homework, let me write it using H. And school closes early, let me denote by S. then he can play in the park, let me denote by P, or eat ice cream, let me denote by I. He will end up in the dispensary with tummy ache, let me denote by D. If he eats ice cream and plays in the park. So, what are the premises that are given to us? Very easily, you can see this is the first premise. If then statement is there. Okay, if this happens, then notice one thing, this is the if then statement. If this happens, then what will happen? Then this will happen. Okay, so you can see if Vinay finishes his homework and school closes early. Okay, so this is the first premise that is given to you. Finish homework and school close early. HS implies he can play in the park or eat ice cream. Either play in park or eat ice cream. This is the first premise. The second premise is given to you. That is if then statement. That is also if then statement. If he eats ice cream and plays in the park. Okay, if he eats ice cream and plays in the park, then what will happen? Then he will end up in the dispensary with the tummy ache. Then D will happen. Dispensary, he will have to go to dispensary. Okay, these are the premises that are given. Now the question is asking which of the following can be correctly inferred. So let's see what is option A saying. Option A is saying if he doesn't end up in the dispensary, means negation D implies if he doesn't end up in the dispensary, then he did not finish his homework. He did not finish his homework or the school closed late. Notice one thing, school closing early, we are denoting by S. When school is closing early, we are denoting by S. So, school closing late, that will be S negation. So, this is option A. And what about option B? This is if he doesn't end up in the dispensary, means D negation implies he didn't eat ice cream and he did not play in the park. Okay. And what is option C? This is saying both A and B. Means this is also valid conclusion. This is also valid conclusion. This is option C. Okay. So let's check option A, option B. Which of them is a valid conclusion? This is what we are going to check. Okay. So let's check. First, I am checking option A. So let's check option A. In option A, our conclusion that is given, that is D negation implies D negation implies H negation or S negation. Okay. So now let's solve it. We will check whether this argument is valid or not. So how to check whether a given argument is valid or not? That is very simple. First, we will make the conclusion false. Then we will try to make all the premises true. So let me make the conclusion false. How to make this conclusion false? This is an implication statement. To make the implication statement false, there is only one way, that is make LHS true, RHS false. So make LHS true. That means D false. D will be false. And make RHS false. How to make this false? This is a disjunction. How to make disjunction false? To make disjunction false, we need to make both of them false. So it means H will be true and S will be true. All these things must happen to make conclusion false. This is what I should do. D false, S true, S true. Okay. Now can I make all the premises true? Let me try to make all the premises true. You can notice already H true, S true. This is already true. And D is false. This is already false. Now can I make all the premises true? Okay. So tell me how to make all the premises true. Very easy. Just make IP equal to, see, I want to make all the premises true. So what I can do here? Here I can make P equal to true, I equal to false. This is what I can do. Then all the premises will become true. Notice one thing. Okay, after making the conclusion false, I want to make all the premises true. Now you can see already this HS, that is true. How to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I need to make this true. To make this true, either I can make P true or I true or both of them. Similarly, here this premise I want to make true. Already D is false. So I need to make this false. This whole thing I need to make false. This whole thing I need to make true. So how to do that? Tell me. Please notice, I need to make this false and I need to make this true. So how to do that? Very simple. I can do this. I can make I false and P true, or I can make P false, I true. But the point is that this option A, that is an invalid conclusion because this argument is invalid. After making conclusion false, I have made premises true. All the premises I have made true. So this argument is invalid. So option A, that is invalid conclusion. So option A is gone. Okay, option A is gone. You can notice. So finally, I can say option A, that is invalid conclusion. So automatically option C will be gone because option C is saying that both A comma B are valid conclusion. Option A is invalid conclusion. So option C is also gone. Now let's check option B, that is D bar implies I bar P bar. So let's see option B. In option B, the conclusion, that is D bar implies I bar P bar. Okay, let's see. After making all the after making conclusion false, can I make all the premises true? This is what I need to do. If I can do that, then it will be invalid argument and option will be invalid conclusion. Otherwise, it will be a valid argument and valid conclusion. Okay. So very simple. The first thing is I will make the conclusion false. Let me make the conclusion false. This is an implication statement. There is only one way to make it false. That will be LHS true, RHS false. So LHS true, that means D will be false. And RHS false, it means I bar P bar, that will be false. There are two ways actually. There are two ways here. Okay, here either I will be true or P will be true. Yes or no? Either I will be true or P will be true. One of them should be true. To make I bar P bar false, either I should be true or P should be true. Okay. Now can I make all the premises true? Notice one thing. I comma P, one of them is definitely true. So this will be definitely be true. Do you agree with me? Either I is true or P is true. One of them is definitely true. At least one of them. Then in that case, this will definitely be true. So this premise is true. Anything implies true, that will be true. Anything implies true, that is true. Okay. Now, can I make this premise true? Yes, very simple. Remember, D is already false. D is already false. So how to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I need to make this false. Now notice one thing, what I can do. Okay, I comma P, at least one of them is true. So what I can do? One of them I can make false, one of them I can make true. Again, the same thing I will do. Okay, again, the same thing I will do. I will make one of them true, one of them false. If I do that, then what will happen? All the premises will be true and the conclusion is false. So this is an invalid argument. So this option B, that is invalid conclusion. Okay. So very simple. So option B, that is also invalid conclusion. So option B is also gone. So finally answer will be none of the above. Means option A, option B, option C. These are invalid conclusion. So the answer will be none of the above is a valid conclusion. Answer will be option D. So this is another very simple question. Did you understand the solution? Let me know. Very simple propositional logic argument based question from the CMI exam. Very simple, cute questions. I hope you are loving these questions. Let's solve this CMI 2024 question. All inhabitants of the old forest are ants or bants. Ants always tell the truth, bants always lie. During a visit to the old forest, you encounter four inhabitants, A, B, C, D. They make the following assertions. These are the four assertions. How many of them are bants? Bants, remember, bants will always lie and ants will always tell the truth. So there are two type of people in the old forest. Let's solve this question. So look at the four statements that A, B, C, D are making. A is saying exactly one of us is banned. B is saying exactly two of us are banned. Notice one thing. A is saying exactly one, and B is saying exactly two of us are banned. C is saying exactly three of us are banned, and D is saying exactly four of us are bends. A simple question I'm asking you, just tell me the answer. Look at all the four statements. Is it possible that, okay, forget about everything else, forget about all things and bands, whatever, okay, forget about everything. You just look at these statements, four statements are given to you, and you tell me, is it possible that at least two of them are true? Is it possible? Let me know. Is it possible that at least two of these statements can be true? No, it is not possible, because notice one thing. This statement is saying exactly one. Exactly one means not more than one, not less than one. This is saying exactly two. This is saying exactly three. And the last one is saying exactly four. Okay. Four of, okay, so you can see that at least two of these statements, can they be true? No, they cannot be true, because remember, exactly one means not more than one, not less than one. Exactly two means not more than two, not less than two. Exactly three means not more than three, not less than three. So you can see, among these statements, at most one statement can be true. Do you agree with me? Okay, if you take any two statement, they are contradictory, or I can say they are they are mutually, I can say, disjoint, or sorry, I can say they are mutually contradictory statement. If you take any two statement from these, then they are mutually contradictory. Yes or no? Mutually contradictory. Mutually contradictory. What it means? It means that at most one of these statement is true. At most one of these statements can be true. At most one of these statements can be true. I hope you understood. See, this is a very simple question. Okay, whenever I give you two statements, for example, if I say exactly 10 people, exactly 10 people are good. Okay. And on another side, I someone says, let's assume person P and person Q. Person P is saying exactly 10 people are good, and person Q is saying exactly 12 people are good. Now you tell me, is it possible that both of them are true? Is it possible? Just tell me this point. Now you can notice, if this is true, then this cannot be true, because exactly 10 means not more than 10, not less than 10. Exactly 12 means not more than 12, not less than 12. So if P is true, then Q cannot be true. If Q is true, then P cannot be true. Okay, so you can notice that at most one of these statements can be true. So P comma Q, at most one of them can be true. At most one of them can be true. Can be true. If P is true, then Q cannot be true. If Q is true, then P cannot be true. At most one of them will be true. Okay, so very simple point. I hope you understood. So this is the first thing that we found, because here you have exactly one, here exactly two, here exactly three, here exactly four. The first thing you can say is that at most one of them is true. What it means? At most one of them is true. It means there is at most one person who is telling the truth. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? I can say here, at most one of these statements is true. One of these statements is true. So it means that at most one of these people is telling the truth. It means at most one of them is ant, because ants will always tell the truth. So I can say at most one of them is ant. At most one of them is ant. Okay, so how many ants are possible? Just let me know. How many ants are possible? A, B, C, D. How many ants are possible? At most one. Either 0 or 1. Is this point clear? Because at most one of these statements is true. So it means that at most one of them is telling the truth. Yes or no? I can say at most one of them is telling the truth. This is what I can say. At most one of them is telling the truth. Is it telling truth? So if at most one of them is telling truth, then you tell me how many ants are there? At most one ant will be there. Yes or no? At most one of them is ant. So how many ants are there? Either 0 or 1. So finally here I can say number of ants from them, either no ant or one ant. Either there is no ant, either this will happen. Okay, either there is no ant or one of them is ant. Exactly one of them is ant. Exactly one of them is ant. Okay, is this clear? Either ABCD, none of them is ant, means either all of them are bent, or exactly one of them is ant. Exactly one of them is telling the truth. Okay, so let's see. Is it possible that none of them is ant? First, let's see. Is it possible that none of them is ant? Is it possible? Let's see one by one. So first, you tell me. Is it possible? Is it possible that none of them is telling the truth? That none of ABCD is telling the truth. None of ABCD is an ant. None of them is ant. Is it possible? The answer is no. Because if this happens, assume none of them is ant, then it means all are bent. Then it means D is telling the truth. D is telling the truth means D is ant. So there is a contradiction. Do you agree with me? See, this is a beautiful question. Just think about it. It's a pure logical question. I am asking, is it possible that none of these four people, A, B, C, D, these are the four people, is it possible that none of them is telling the truth? Means, is it possible that none of them is ant? Assume none of them is ant. Then what will happen? Assume none of them is ant. Then all are bent. Okay, so you can see I am saying that assume all are ant. This is the first thing you do. Assume all means ABCD. ABCD. Assume all are bents. Okay, means assume that none of them is ant. Assume. If all are bent, then what will happen? Then look at D. Then D is telling the truth. Because D is saying exactly four of us are bent. These are the four people ABCD. And D is saying exactly four of us are bent. So you can see, assume that all are bent. Then this person D is telling truth. Then D is telling truth. Yes or no? Then D is telling truth. And if D is telling truth, then D is what? Then D is ant. Then D is not bent. Or I can say D is ant. So there is a contradiction. Okay, so that is the contradiction. So finally, I can say that is it possible that none of them is ant? The answer is no. This is not possible. Did you understand this? It is a very simple thing. Is there anyone who did not understand this simple point? This is pure logic, nothing else. I am saying, is it possible that these are the four people? You are meeting four people ABCD. Is it possible none of them is telling the truth? Assume none of them is telling the truth. Assume for a moment, let's assume that none of them is telling the truth. Means none of them is ant. It means all of them are bent. All of them are lying. All of them are bent. But if all of them are bent, if ABCD, all four of them are bent, then D is telling the truth. Because D is saying that exactly four of us are bent. So if all of them are bent, then D is telling the truth. If D is telling the truth, then D is ant. So D is not bent. So that is the contradiction. First you are saying that all are bent, then you are saying D is ant. So there is a contradiction. Okay, so finally I can say that how many ant are there? Now finally you let me know. How many ant are there? Exactly one of them is ant. Because we already know either there is no ant or exactly one of them is ant. Now we can see this case is a contradiction. This case is not possible. So I can say exactly one of them is ant. Okay, so this is the final thing. Now let's check which of them is ant. So this is the final thing that exactly one of them is ant. Exactly one of them, one of these people, exactly one of them. Who them? ABCD. Exactly one of them is ant. So how many bent are there? Let me know. Exactly, one of them is ant. This is the conclusion. Okay, one of them is ant. So how many bent are there? So three are bent. So three are bents. So for this question, answer will be what? Answer will be how many bents are there? Answer will be option C. Okay. Now, which of them is actually ant? See, one of them is ant, but can you find which of them? The question has been solved. The question was asking how many bents are there? Answer will be three. The question is done and dusted. The question is already solved. Now you tell me which of them is ant? Which of them is ant? Are very simple. This is this statement who is saying? Very simple. See, this is the truth. Please notice. This is a very simple thing I am saying. See, this is the truth. Do you agree? Do you agree? This is the truth. Truth. So, who is speaking the truth? A, B, C, D. Who is speaking the truth? See, this is the truth. Exactly one of them is ant. Means one of them is ant, three are bent. Three are bent, one is ant. So, who is speaking the truth? C is speaking the truth. Exactly three of us are bent. This statement is the truth. Yes or no? C is speaking the truth. So C is the ant. All other are bent. Okay, is this clear? C is the ant, all other are bent. This is the final answer. Because remember, this is the truth. So who is speaking the truth? You can see C is speaking the truth. So C is ant. Exactly one of them is ant. C is ant. And the remaining three are bent. So that's it. This is the analysis of this question. So did you love this question? This is CMI 2024 question. Now let me tell you, there is another method to solve this question. Okay, maybe you will like this method also. So let's see another method to solve this question. You just tell me a simple point. Is it possible that, okay, one by one we will focus on these statements. Is it okay? Look at option D and tell me, is it possible it can be true? One by one we will focus on the statement. Let's focus on option D. Okay, focus on option D. Statement D. Statement, focus on statement by D. Tell me, is it possible it can be true? This statement, is it possible it can be true? Assume this is true. Okay, see, interesting things are coming. Assume this is true. I am assuming this is true. If this statement is true, then if this statement is true, then D should be who? D should be ant or bent. See, assume this statement is true. If this statement is true, then D is telling the truth. So D is ant. Yes or no? Assume this statement is true. So D is ant. Okay, because I am assuming that D is telling the truth. Okay, so you can see, assume this statement is true. So D is telling truth. So D is ant. Okay, so this statement is true. But now this statement is saying that all of them are bent. So there is a contradiction or not? There is a contradiction or not? First, I'm assuming that this statement is true. This is what I'm assuming first, that this statement is true. If this statement is true, then D is telling the truth. So D is ant. But if this statement is true, then this statement says that all of us are bent. So if this statement is true, then D is bent. Yes or no? Okay. So you can see that according to this statement, D is bent. Okay. According to this statement, look at this. So according to this statement, D is bent. If this statement true, then D bent. So D is bent. Okay. So there is a contradiction. We have a contradiction here. You can see on one side you are saying D is bent, on another side you are saying D is ant. So there is a contradiction, clear contradiction. This is called contradiction here. Okay. So that's what we say, contradiction. So definitely this statement D cannot be true. Okay, that is fine. Okay, so this is the conclusion that this statement D, this is definitely not true. This statement is definitely false. So D is definitely bent. Okay, this is what we have found so far, that D is bent. Is this clear? That D is definitely bent. Okay, this is so far we have found. This is the conclusion so far, that D is bent. Okay, now, so D is bent. This information we got. Okay, now focus on A. Remember, remember D is bent. This point you remember. Remember that D is bent. Okay. Now you focus on statement A. Focus on statement A. Okay. Now you tell me this is statement A. Assume it is true. For a moment, assume this is true. Okay. For a moment, assume this statement is true. If you assume this statement is true, then A is speaking the truth, then A is and yes or no? Assume this statement is true, so A speaks truth. So A is speaking truth. Okay, yes or no? Telling truth. So A is what? So A is and. Okay. But this is, if this statement is true, then exactly one person is banned. But already we know D is banned. So who is that banned? See, A is saying that exactly one of us is banned. We already know D is banned. We already know D is banned. Okay. So A is and D is banned. So what will be B comma C? What will be B comma C? Let me know. They will be and. They will be and. But is it possible they will be and? No, they cannot be and. Because if they are and, then these statement will be true. Can these statement be true? Exactly two of us are banned, exactly three of us are banned. These statement cannot be true. There is a contradiction among these statements. Okay. Among these statements, there is a contradiction. Can they be true? These statements, these three statements, can they be true? No, they cannot be true. So definitely A is also banned. Okay, so again we got a contradiction, and again we can say that this A is banned. Okay, so again we got again contradiction. Again we got a contradiction. So I can say that A is also banned. Okay, so finally we got that D is banned, A is banned, one by one. And similarly you can check B also, you can check. Now you focus on statement B. B also will be banned. Okay, and finally D will be the only person who will C will be the only person who is and. Okay, so like this you can do the analysis. I hope you understood this question. So this question you can do by two methods, method 1, method 2. I hope you loved method 1, yes or no? That was quick method, method 1. But you should understand both the methods. I hope you understood both the methods. Okay, so you can see in the method 2 what I'm doing. First I'm focusing on statement D, then statement A, then I'm focusing on statement B, then statement C. Okay, so one by one, if you focus on these statements one by one, then you will see that A, D, B, these are bent, and the only ant is C. So this is how you can solve this question. So I hope you loved this question. This is a really beautiful question from CMI 2024. Okay. So did you like all the propositional logic CMI exam questions? And would you like to solve more such questions? Do you want to solve more such questions? If yes, if you want to solve more such questions, then attempt Go Classes Propositional Logic Weekly Quiz 6. In this Weekly Quiz 6 also, this type of CMI exam questions you can find. Okay, and you can try. Let's solve this question. Select the logical expression that is equivalent to this expression. So this is a very simple question. We can apply the by case method, or we can apply the simplification method. This is a MCQ question, so you can directly apply the simplification method. Only one option is correct. So let's do the simplification here. This is a implication statement. We already know that A implies B, that is equivalent to A negation or B. So here if you see, it will be P negation or Q negation. See, this implies this. Okay, so negation of this, that will be PQ only, PQ or PR. Okay, PQ or PR. So that's it. And here what you can do, you can apply the distributive property. So you can take P out. So it will be P and Q or R. P and Q or R. So option C will be correct. Okay, this is a MCQ question. Only one option is correct. So using simplification, you can solve it. The answer will be option C. Very simple question. Let's solve this question. How many assignments of truth values to PQR respectively are there to prove that this argument is invalid? We want to prove that this argument is invalid. So what are the assignments of truth values to PQR? How many assignments of truth value to PQR will prove that this argument is invalid? Remember, argument is invalid if there exists at least one assignment to the propositional variable such that all the premises become true and the conclusion becomes false. So we want to prove that this argument is invalid. So basically what we want to do, we want to make all the premises true and we want to make the conclusion false. This is what we want to do. To prove that an argument is invalid, this is what you need to do, that there should be at least one truth value assignment to the propositional variable such that all the premises become true and the conclusion becomes false. So this is what we need to do. We want to make all the premises true and the conclusion false. So you can see, because I want to make conclusion false and the conclusion is Q, so there is only one choice, there is only one way, that is Q equal to false. Now after making Q equal to false, after making this Q is false. Now I want to make all the premises true. So what should be the truth value of P? There is only one choice, that is false. I have to make P equal to false if I want to make the premise true. This first premise true, if I want to make, then P must be false because already Q is false. So P must be false. Okay, remember this Q is false. This Q is false. How to make this premise true? To make this premise true, I need to make R equal to false. Okay, so that's it. You can easily notice that this is the only assignment. This is the only truth value assignment to PQR which will prove that this argument is invalid. Okay, so the question is asking how many assignments of truth values to PQR will prove that this argument is invalid. How many assignments? The answer will be 1. And what is that? That is P false, Q false, R false. So very simple. If I put P false, Q false, R false, if I put this, then all the premises will become true and the conclusion will become false, which will prove that this argument is invalid. Let's solve this question. Select the logical expression that is equivalent to this expression. So this is a MCQ question. Only one option is correct. So we can apply the simplification method. We already know that A implies B, that is equivalent to A negation or B. So we can apply that here. So negation of this, that will be P or Q or P or R. So answer will be P or Q or R. P or Q or R. So answer will be option D. Very simple question. Let's solve this question. From the expressions below, select all the tautologies. Tautology means which is always true. A propositional logic expression is tautology if it is always true. Okay, so you can see false implies anything that is always true. That we already know. False implies anything. This whole thing is always true. So definitely this is a tautology. Okay, what about the next? You can see false implies P and Q. That will always be true. Let's see option B. Option B is saying that we have false implies P and Q. P and Q. Okay, this whole thing implies P and Q. Implies P and Q. Now you can notice that false implies anything that will be true. Yes or no? So this whole thing is actually true. True implies PQ. Now remember, true implies alpha. That is actually what? That is actually alpha. Because what is true implies alpha, that will be negation of true or alpha. So that will be false or alpha. And false or alpha, that is nothing but alpha. So you can see true implies PQ, that will be PQ. And this is not a tautology. You can make it false. If I put P equal to false, it will become false. So it is not a tautology. Actually, this is contingency. I can make it true, I can make it false. If I put P equal to true, Q equal to true, this will become true. If I put P equal to false, this will become false. So this is actually contingency. This is not a tautology. So very simple. This option B, that is not a tautology. What about option C? R by implication R bar. R by implication R bar. Now you can easily notice that this will always be false, because if R is true, then R bar will be false. If R is false, R bar will be true. So you can see by implication of true comma false, that will be false. So this is actually always false. This is actually contradiction, because this is always false. So this is not a tautology. This is actually always false. So this is actually a contradiction. What about the last? P XOR Q implies P or Q. This statement is a tautology, because whenever XOR is true, then OR also will be true. Okay, look at option D. Option D is saying that P XOR Q implies P or Q. Now, very simple point. Notice one thing. Whenever this will be true, whenever whenever P XOR Q will be true. Okay, what are the cases when P XOR Q will be true? There are two cases: P true, Q false, or P false, Q true. Only two cases are there. Now, in both the cases, you can see in this case also, you can see P or Q is true. P or Q is true. So this is what I'm saying, that whenever LHS will be true, RHS will be true. Whenever this is true, this also will be true. So this is a tautology. Yes or no? So this whole thing is a tautology, because this will always be true. Okay, so that's it for this question. This is a MSQ question. Multiple options can be correct. One or more options can be correct. So the answer will be AD. Okay. So this is your discussion of propositional logic weekly quiz 5. We have done the discussion of all the questions. I hope you loved these questions. Many beautiful questions are there in this weekly quiz. So this was a tricky conceptual weekly quiz. I hope you loved it. Okay. Thank you everyone. Please share your feedback in the comments. Please like this session and share your feedback in the comments.